We're in Canary Wharf for what should have been the final press conference between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Ade Hearn joins us now to kind of fill us in on the latest. What can you tell us, Eddie?
I shouldn't joke about that. No. Yeah, look, it's a brutal day yesterday. We made the decision to postpone the fight. You know, I want to make it clear that Conor Benn is not suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control. We do feel that he hasn't received due process in this situation, like others before him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've been involved with this sport since I was 8 years old. It's a sport we love. You know, you see the feedback, and we understand that some things have to be explored and some answers have to be found. And ultimately, we have many options here to get this fight on.
Yeah.
You know, I've read a lot of stuff in the press. We was in court today for an injunction. Not true. You know, we were considering other commissions. Not true. But we could have. But also, at the same time, we understand we have an obligation to make sure that everything is right. And whilst everybody was aware and Team Eubank was prepared to take this fight,
yeah,
I think the correct decision's been made.
You mentioned at the top there the fight's been postponed as opposed to being cancelled. When likely is it to be rescheduled? I know there must be a lot of things that you have to go through, but
sure. I mean,
is there a date?
I think everybody in the sport's got to be comfortable, and that's a very difficult thing, because I think, you know, I've seen some very righteous people over the last 24 hours, but ultimately everybody needs peace of mind. For me, this fight is postponed.
Yeah.
You know, this has been just the most tremendous build-up. You know, I go back to you doing your face-to-face, which seems like a bit of a waste of time.
It really does, if I'm honest
with you.
with you.
Numbers, to be fair. And I want to make this fight, but at the same time, people want answers. People need to sit in front of others and you know, go through the process here. But right now, this fight is postponed. The tickets are refunded to the customers at the O2. The show is off. You know, it's bad for the undercard as well at the same time, but when you have a ticket price that's reflected on the main event and not the undercard, and you offer a full refund, it's one or the other. You know, you let people come without a refund, or you give everybody a refund and you cancel the show. And all those fighters on the undercard will be rescheduled over the next you know, few days in terms of their dates. And you know, we move forward. We try and make this fight. Chris Eubank wants this fight to happen. Conor Benn obviously wants this fight to happen, and you know, that's the aim. But we'll go through this process and make sure everyone's comfortable and right.
You mentioned, I think you said this at length yesterday, that Conor Benn isn't suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control. What next for Conor Benn?
I mean, that's a good question, and you know, that's an answer for the British Boxing Board of Control. He's not suspended because, again, you know, and when we talk about recognising VADA testing, it's not a criticism of VADA testing. We employ VADA testing for our fights. Nobody tests more fighters than Matchroom. You know, we want a clean sport, but also we follow the rules of our commission. And right now, he is not suspended. Ultimately, he's clear to fight. But rather than jump through a loophole to try and make this fight happen through the courts, we want to make sure that everybody is comfortable. The board, the fighters, the public, you know, people in the sport, because at the end of the day, our reputation's on the line as well. And financially, of course, it's a kick in the nuts. But it's bigger than that. You know, you're talking about long-term reputation, and whether people think I care or not, trust me, I care. And it's been a very difficult decision to not go down those routes when you want a fight to happen so badly. Our job is to entertain the public.
Yeah.
You know, even now I'm cancelling the fight. I've had thousands of DMs going, why'd you cancel it? I was looking forward to that. I've got hope. It's like, you can't really win either way. But I feel like the right decision has been made. I think the people in the sport will feel like the right decision has been made. And we move forward, you know, not just with Brisbane next week and then Mexico and Katie Taylor and then Abu Dhabi, but we move forward with a resolution to try and make this fight happen if it's the right thing to do.
Obviously, it was a co-promotion with Western Boxing. Have you spoke to Cali?
Yeah, at length. Like, we were in his office last night till midnight, you know what I mean? And at some point, you have to down tools and say,
enough.
We got to make the right decision here. And whilst we feel like the board have not made certain decisions correctly during this process, we also understand the bigger picture. And you know, it's been difficult because there's been a lot of conversations with Wasserman, with Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah.
And he wants to fight. You know, I was in his room 45 minutes ago. He was 3 pounds overweight, ready to weigh in tomorrow. He was going to make that weight.
Yeah.
You know, and he's disappointed. And the one thing he wants more than anything right now is to fight Conor Benn and do a job on him. But I believe we'll see that. It's a massive fight. But as he said, last night. Things have to be right, and that's the process we'll undertake now.
Eddie, really appreciate you coming off and speaking to us. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.